Live. We are live. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're working on the mallet again today. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that's what we're working on today. We're gonna work on this. Erica's going for taking the dog for a walk after dark, which is not ideal, but that's what we're doing. So here we go. Kind of hear Luna in the background. I'm thinking we might even finish it tonight. That's how close it feels like we are. Whether we are actually that close, only time will tell. And to be fair, I've wrongly predicted how long this would take many times so far. Hey, Carolee, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Give me a quick thumbs up. I was just saying, we might even finish this week. Mallet. I've got some of the supplies sitting right over there to finish. Do one of the last steps. It occurs to me in this moment that the last step, actually, I don't know where it is. I assume I have some medical tape around, because I almost always do, because I use it for so many different applications. But I haven't actually checked to make sure that I know where it is. I think I might. I'm thinking, even if I don't get it done on the live stream, I might just keep going and at least finish the wood burning tonight. That's what I'm thinking about anyway. It'll kind of depend on what Erica wants to do tonight. But so maybe we will have the artistic part all done by the time the sun rises tomorrow. So I think I announced it last time, but it kind of got overshadowed by the fact that I got a new patron. But I think I mentioned next year is going to be the year of finishing. So I'm going to try and finish all the projects that I've started. That's the idea anyway. So that's my plan. And so the plan is to try, obviously I won't succeed, but I will have at least succeeded more than if I hadn't tried at all. But hope I will try to finish one small project every day. And so a lot of those projects will be, small projects that are a piece of a much larger project. But just finish something every day. That's the goal. And I'll keep track of that. I think by doing short little 5-minute, 10-minute live streams every day. next year, or at least every day that uh, it's accessible. So every day that I have access. And that would be just to give updates, not to actually do the projects on the live stream. Because that's one of the things we learned this, or I learned this year, is that if I do the project on the live stream, it, it means I don't end up doing the project off of the live stream. I like want to save it as content for the live stream. And so things get done much slower that way. So that's what I'm thinking. Ah, kind of just looking at my work. Okay. But by doing a much shorter time frame, much more often, I think that'll probably be more appealing to people in terms of its entertainment value, and also to me in terms of how much of a commitment it is, and also uh, so in other words, by having low commitment for me, it'll be relatively easier. It'll be much easier for me to do, and it'll be much easier for me to maximize the positive effects of it, and it will also uh, make it, I think, more entertaining for you guys. So I think in the end, 5 to 10 minutes of live stream is probably a much more reasonable amount that will hopefully keep things much more entertaining. And doing the projects off screen will be pushing me to make actual lifestyle habit changes rather than just doing a slightly different thing than I normally do, if that makes any sense. Hey, Mom! He's concentrating deeply. Yes, yes, I am. I'm very focused. I was just saying that I'm hoping to maybe even get this thing done tonight. We'll see. I think. Uh, I think we'll hopefully. My goal is to at least get done with the wood burning tonight. There's two more steps after we finish the wood burning, and then after we finish the wood burning, we can do at least one of the other steps relatively quickly. Only take like 5 or 10 minutes, and then the other one I might have to go find something. So I might do that the next time. But we might be getting pretty close to the end now. We're at that stage where if I if I feel like parts of it are finished, like those parts are finished. You know what I mean? Like it's it's in that stage where it's like, well, it's kind of up to me whether or not that's done. I've done it enough. Question is whether it's the amount of doneness that I want, that I like envision. So let's see. But, so no promises that it'll be done today, but I think we'll definitely have it done by say the end of the year or probably Christmas. Maybe I'll bring it up with me to Christmas and show it to y'all in person since we're coming up there for Christmas. We're gonna bring the dog, and we're gonna bring our prayers for snow. And hopefully, your mom says yes. Please bring it for Christmas. All right. Well, that's what we'll try and do then. Yeah, I think y'all get a kick out of it 'cause since you've seen it on the screen so much. It's different to feel it in your hand. Honestly, I think that's a lot of the magic of Disney. Is like you see all these things as in their screen form, in their two-dimensional form. But it's only once you go to Disneyland or Disney World that you really get to see them like as they really are, like as real as real concepts in the real world. And I think there's something deeply magical about that when you have seen something in a low dimension light, and then eventually you get to see it in its full dimensional glory. I'm really excited to do the year of finishing. I've never been the sort of person. I've always been the sort of person that starts a lot of things, and if I'm starting something that's cool enough, I might be able to convince somebody else to finish it. Um, but I've never really been the sort of person that finishes things very often. And so to spend a whole year focusing on that, on the finishing part of my personality, and trying to develop this thing that is, in some ways, like maybe one of my biggest weaknesses, I think has a lot of potential to bring about some pretty good improvements to myself and and stuff. Really, in life, the only things I've ever really finished is like when I'm making a story, when I'm writing a story, a short story, and obviously you can go to my Patreon, and if they're finished, it's public, so you don't have to become a patron in order to read some of those. Um, and then obviously my drawings and some of my paintings. But even like if you look at my paintings, the vast majority of my paintings are unfinished. Um, I shouldn't say if you look at, because no one can look at them. I can't even look at them. I don't know where they are. But in my memory, I can look at them, and I know that most of the paintings I ever started, I never finished. Um, the ones I did finish were totally worth being proud of, but I just didn't finish a lot of them. A lot of times, finishing things requires you to like kind of grit your teeth and work on it even when you don't want to. And for whatever reason, I learned from a very young age how to get through that stage of the artistic process when it came to drawings, but I've never really gotten to that stage with most things. The only other thing I can think of is writing, and I just love writing so much, and I really have not done hardly any of it since we moved to Texas. Um, I really have not done all that much of any kind of creativity hardly since we moved to Texas, other than drawing at church. Um, but but it is interesting. My style of drawing, my type of drawing that I do, has all like had a pretty big shift in this year because I've started drawing for the first time ever pretty consistently with a lot of color, which is not my drawings have pretty much been black and white almost my whole life, with a handful of spitter spatter of exceptions to that, obviously. Um, but Mom, have you given the video a thumbs up yet? But yeah, this year I've started drawing in color a lot, which is a gigantic change to my style. And I guess maybe it's because of that big change. that I've been doing more of that type of art and less other artistic outlets. Or maybe it's just that I get home from work and I'm exhausted. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm not usually exhausted unless it's stone day. Unless we're doing stone, which today I worked out. Oh man, my forearm feels so good. I've been looking for that option and can't find it, but I plan on to it at the end. All right, sounds good, Mom. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so I'm looking for. I'm really excited about it. Um, I'm really excited to finish because if I were to finish a lot of the small projects that I have started, it would add up to a lot of like even if I only finished like one. So if I attempt to finish one project every day, even if I only finished, even if I only succeeded at that once a week, I would still finish like 50 more projects than usual, right? Like in a normal year, I finish maybe one or two projects usually. So if we can get that number anywhere close to 10, 20, 50, we're talking about a gigantic leap forward in my artistic productivity. Um, like last year, it was getting a bunch of short stories finished or short form stories finished um, in order to make the little book, the little brown book, next little brown book uh, of stories. That was the big thing that happened the previous year, and I think something it wasn't a big project. It was, and I guess now that I think about it, probably the same amount of hours put into it as this mallet maybe. So like probably no, probably more than that. But I probably put 10 hours into it. No, I probably put on average maybe 2 to 5 hours into that project every week that year. And then um, got it almost finished. I got like 80% done. Like all the writing part of it is done. It's just like you know, turning it into an actual physical object that I can sell. That's the only part that didn't get done, right? So it's like, well, if I can do, and then this year we've done this project, which I thought was going to be a little bit more expansive. I thought this was going to kind of include the whole room, but it ended up kind of only including one tool that will be used to build the whole room. But in terms of hours, I've used about the same number of hours I intended to use. I just, ended up applying them all into one small portion of the project. And yeah, I think by trying to finish one project every day, it'll get me to a point where I'm probably spending at least an hour or two every day on average. Not actually in total, like there won't be 365. Um, well, there might be 365 hours put in, but there won't be like I'm sure some of the time I will not be focused enough to stick with it. But if we get more productive hours out of it than we did for this project, I think it's a win. I think it's a success. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. What about you, Luna? Are you excited about it? Are you excited about it, Luna? Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good advice, Mom. Having more room to succeed there. What I'm trying to say is, if my goal is to do one a day, I will consider it a success if I finish. Like if I finish one a month, I will still consider it a success because that's way more than I did this year. This year I did one basically the whole year, right? Which is this. So if I finish one a month or one a week, I'll consider that a huge success. And that's why I do a theme instead of setting up goals or these other ways of measuring that success. Um, if I finish more than one project in the whole year next year, that'll be successful because this year I basically only finished one, and this year was a success in the sense that it looks like I'm gonna finish that one. So um, yeah, that's how I'm looking at it, how I feel about it. So it's true that this isn't the only project I finished this year, but it's not even, and this isn't even the only project I finished. Um, in regards to the studio, I mean, I have acquired a ton of tools this year for the future studio, for the future, workshop. So yeah, this year, looking back, although it was not the kind of success I thought it was going to be, or that I hoped it would be, this year has totally been a success as in terms of the year of the studio. Um, so happy about that. Happy about that. Oh, I gotta run. Carolee says goodbye, Carolee. I'm glad you like it. Enjoy. See you again next week. There we go. There. I think that's what the handle is mostly going to look like. I'm going to clean up the lettering around Dodo and my name and stuff. Now that I've gotten quite a bit better at this, since when I initially did it. Still nowhere near as a professional level, but I recently heard one of my favorite quotes, a new favorite quote, which was the difference between an amateur and a professional is an amateur does it until it's right. Professional does it so that they can never get it wrong. Does it until they can't get it wrong. That, that hit home for me. I've definitely worked with people who were that kind of professional where they had done what they were doing for so long that they just couldn't, like, if they made a mistake it was like an astronomically rare occurrence. And I've never really, there's not much I've ever really done that with. I've never, I like the my stick to itiveness gene isn't super high in a lot of ways. It is in other ways, but when it comes to learning new skills, I'm not super good at just sticking with it until I know it absurdly well. And in a lot of ways, that's kind of what our society really incentivizes is if you do the same thing enough times and under enough different circumstances for you to basically uh, not be able to do it wrong. You just like super absurdly consistent just because of how many repetitions you've done. You know, and I've never really had anything that I have done consistently enough for long enough to do that. Well, maybe I, I, I maybe there's a few different types of like very minute social skills that I've gotten that good at, and I definitely have not gotten that good at writing stories yet. But I do feel like I've gotten that good at like making up stories in my mind. And for me, writing is just a matter of trying to bring those places that I have been, those people that I have met, those characters that I have met, um, bring them to life in ways that other people can experience them. You know, but it means I need to get good at writing so that my stories can be well written, which means I need to just do a lot of writing and be intentional about improving. Dodo. Dodo. Those O's do not look very good. Honestly, neither do those D's. None of it looks good. I need a lot more practice still. Let's see here. What else should I do? I feel like if this, so on this side, see this storm over here? Either I should maybe do some outlining of this storm to make it more obvious, or I should darken up these clouds. And I'm thinking, for being realistic about how storms work, I should darken up these clouds. And what is the best way to do that? I do not know. I do not know. Um, in fact, I cannot think of a single way at all that is definitely a good idea. I can only think of ideas that might be good ideas. So we're going to try those, or at least one of them. Okay. Storm might be the thing that finally kicks my butt on this project. The storm might end up being the ugly thing in the project. It's only fair that there would be an ugly part. Wouldn't be fair if the whole thing was beautiful, right? I don't know. Thank you, Mom. Love you too. Hey, Mom. I ended up being able to look up something on my phone and stay on with you. Oh, cool, Mom. Thank you. Welcome back. Do you watch this while you're at work sometimes, Mom? I just realized that. That's that's probably what that might be what you're doing. Cool. Yeah, we had a Keene Church staff party. It was really fun. Honestly, it was one of the best Christmas parties yet. It was awesome. Baby Micah was there. That was my first time getting to hold baby Micah. Um, I mean, his parents were there too, and so were a bunch of other people. But they had a white elephant gift exchange, and we, in our excellent brilliance, uh, took a box of Legos, cut it in half, put half of the Legos in one box and half in the other, and then put all the instructions in one half. And so, yeah, it was kind of cool. And it was funny, I ended up getting one of the halves because nobody really wants half of a box of Legos, which surprised me because I feel like any of those couples could have enjoyed a full box of Legos if they'd stolen it. But anyway, so I got half the box of Legos, and Pastor Michael got half the box of Legos. So afterwards, we just opened them up and built the full set, and then I sent it home with Micah. Micah's first ever Lego set, and already built Lego set. And there was a costume contest, most Christmas dressed contest, um, a contest which I won by wearing a lit wreath. Um, and then, uh, what else did we do? We also counted some candies, or like they had like a guess the number of candies in the jar thing for some prizes or whatever, and that was cool and stuff. And then it was all at one of the church members' houses. They have like an extra building that they've built as an Airbnb, and it's really cool. It's like a log cabin style build. It's really beautiful. And then we also got to tour through their new house, which was huge. It was 4,300, no, 43,000 square feet. So pretty big house. It's a pretty cool tour. Erica played a bunch of games. She played Dutch Blitz and some other games. One of them was Caveman Poetry, which was pretty funny. So she's really good at Dutch Blitz, but it turns out she is not very good at Caveman Poetry. I didn't play. I was busy building Legos during the games. This storm is not looking very good. I'm going to try a whole new technique. I'm thinking, nope, that would be 4,300 square feet. That'd be incorrect. It was 43,000 square feet is how big the house was. It was, dare I say, castle sized. Um, or since we're in Texas, I suspect it was just Texas size. So they're pretty cool people. They've built some of the theme parks around here and own some of the theme parks around here and have a concrete company and a few other big companies. So they're not, you know, they're not pinching pennies to build a house that big either. So they're making it happen. So we're gonna try a new technique I haven't done yet on this project, and that is using the broadside. To shade things in. Okay. That would be 100 times the size of my house. Yep, that sounds about right. You know, it's a pretty big house. Kind of ridiculously large. I think that was kind of the point. I think that's what they wanted. Just ludicrously large. I think they were picturing, like, what if our children got to grow up in a house that has all the features of a normal house, except on the scale of like an airplane hangar. Not like a private airplane hangar, like for one of the real big ones. Still built out of rustic wood and all that jazz. Just big enough to put a Boeing 747 in. I don't know. They probably couldn't actually fit a Boeing 747 in it, but it certainly felt that way because I've just never been in houses that were even remotely close to that the kind of scale that they were showing us. I have been in like public buildings that are comparable in size, like the public library of Coeur d'Alene, or like some schools that I've been in, right? Like are comparable in size. But I've definitely never been in a residential house that was comparable. And I don't think I've ever been in a house remotely similar in size to the size of their house. Now it's probably not true. There's probably some exception to that that I've just forgotten about. But yeah, that is what it was like. It felt like a path, it felt like a public building sized building. Yeah, our conclusion was that it appears to be working great for them, and some of the features of it are really cool. But I don't think it's for us. I don't think it's really like a goal we're gonna strive towards in the future. Um, yeah, that was kind of our conclusion. Was very cool for them. We're very happy for them. It's cool that they like kind of built it themselves in a lot of ways. A lot more ways than I would have expected when it comes to a house that big. But like I said, he has a construction company, so you know. But still, it's like, oh my goodness. But yeah, cool for them. I don't think we need anything that big. If I was gonna own a building that big, I think it would be a barn. But to be fair, they probably do have a barn that is also at least that big. That'd be I wouldn't be surprised at all to find that out. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about. Yeah, it was a very, very, very big house. It was beautiful though. It was really beautiful. I was very impressed with the kitchen. Kitchen was awesome. If I had a lot of children, I would love having a kitchen like that. Heck, I mean, even just the way I am right now, like as good as Erica's cooking is, I would love for her to have a kitchen that nice and big. Luna, what are you barking about? Luna would love having a property that big. That's for sure. Later, Gator. Good night. Good night, Mom. Love you. Well, I do declare, I think the wood burning is done. I think there's more that I could do, but I'm not sure there's more that I want to do. I can't think of anything more I want to do right now, at least. I think we will start the next episode by oiling this bad boy. How many more episodes do we have left before the end of the year? Let me check. Let me look at the calendar. We have the 20th and the 27th. So next episode, we will oil this thing. And then once that oil dries over the course of the next week, we will then, on the 27th, we will put the handle wrap on it. And we'll be done. Project completed, just in time for the new year, just after Christmas. That's the plan. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. There it is. Love you and stuff. We got a bear. Cotillo's over here. Got an owl up on the cactus. I think it looks pretty good. I do, if I say so myself. All right, folks. Next week, oiling this bad boy. There we go. All right. I'll see you guys next week at 6:06. Hit that bell, stay well, and I'll see you next week. If I can click. What's going on?